It's official. I am challenging you to make $10,000 in 30 days. Let's cut through the BS. I see too many people grinding for years and they're still struggling. What I'm about to share with you completely changed my life and allowed me to go from being a depressed broke kid to making thousands of dollars per day with my own business in my early 20s. First things first, you need a why. I'm not talking about some fluffy motivational quote. I'm talking about a real, tangible reason that hits you in the gut. Take 5 minutes right now and write down exactly what your life would look like when you're making $10,000 per month. Be as specific as you can, because if you lack clarity, then you won't have a strong enough reason to do the things that you need to actually succeed. So you just won't. When people procrastinate, more often than not, it's because they lack clarity. So what's your dream? Is it living a luxurious lifestyle? Is it finally paying off that debt that's been hanging over your head? Is it taking your family on that vacation you've been promising for years? Or maybe it's just the freedom to breathe without that constant money stress. Personally, I got tired of watching my parents work themselves to the bone just to barely get by. I wanted to buy my parents a house so they could retire in a nice place. And that hit different. That got me out of bed at 5 a.m. when I didn't want to move. Your why needs to make you uncomfortable. It needs to make you cry a little when you think about it. Because when things get hard, and they will get hard, that is what will keep you going. The problem is most people just skip this step. They jump straight into tactics without getting clear on their motivation. Then they wonder why they give up at the first obstacle. Your why is your fuel. Without it, you'll run out of gas before you even get close to your destination. So take this seriously. When you're done watching this video, I want you to spend 10 minutes getting crystal clear on your why. Make it visual, make it emotional, make it so compelling that you can't help but take action. Now that we've got the why, let's talk about the how. You can't get clear on the how before you're clear on the why. That's why it's step number 1. Now, the how is where most people get completely lost. They see someone making money with dropshipping and they try that. They see someone else crushing it with Amazon FBA, so they pivot to that. Then they hear about another day trading or crypto thing and they drop everything to focus on that. And the cycle continues again and again and again. And all they end up doing is losing thousands of dollars and time. Let me save you years of frustration right now and thousands of dollars. The business model you choose matters way more than you think. And most beginners choose absolutely terrible business models that set them up for failure from day one. Here's the truth. Dropshipping is oversaturated. The margins are razor thin. The competition is fierce. And you're at the mercy of suppliers you have no control over. Amazon FBA? You need serious capital to start. You have to deal with inventory, logistics, and Amazon changing the rules whenever they feel like it. What about selling courses? Unless you already have a massive following, good luck making $10,000 anytime soon. Here's what works when you're starting from zero. Consulting, selling your knowledge or a service. Why? Because you can start tomorrow with zero inventory, zero product development, and zero employees. I don't care if you think you're not an expert. You don't need to be. Right now I can guarantee you know something that someone else needs help with. Maybe it's social media management. Maybe it's bookkeeping. Maybe it's helping local businesses to get more customers. Maybe it's getting in shape or acing exams. There's something you know that others won't pay for. Still not convinced? Let me break it down further. When you sell a service, you're selling your time and knowledge. You don't need to create anything physical. You don't need to wait for shipping. You don't need to deal with returns or customer service nightmares because people bought the wrong size. You can literally land a client today and get paid immediately. No other business model allows for that kind of speed from zero to revenue. Not to mention that profit margins can be as high as 95%. Now, unfortunately, there are some things we're not allowed to share on YouTube, which is why to help you, I've recorded a free training to show you how I went from zero to over $1,200 a day with 95% profit margins. The link is in the description and I highly suggest you check it out when you're done with this video. You can also book a free call with me or my team and together we'll come up with a game plan for you to get to 5 to 10K per month as quickly as possible. But be quick because we literally get hundreds of applications per month, so we don't have enough spots for everyone. Next stop, pricing. Now, this one is simple math, but most people get it wrong because they're thinking too small. If you're selling something for $50, you need to get 200 sales to hit $10,000. 200 sales from scratch in 30 days? good luck with that. But if you're selling something for $2,000, you only need 5 sales. Just 5, that's it. 5 sales in 30 days. Which sounds easier in your opinion? Finding 200 people to pay you $50 or finding 5 people to pay you $2,000? Here's the secret most people miss. It's actually easier to sell expensive stuff. Why? Because when somebody invests more money, they're more committed. They value what they bought more. They take it seriously. And that means better results, better testimonials, and easier future sales. Plus, the type of client who can afford to pay $2,000 tends to be less of a headache than the one quibbling over $50. Back in 2022, when I got started with consulting, I was helping small businesses to get more leads and increase their sales. Nowadays, I help ambitious people to break free from the 9-to-5 grind by selling their knowledge or a service online. I've seen total beginners get their first high-paying client within 4 weeks and then get their second client not even a week later. And I've seen this happen too many times for this to be a fluke. So stop thinking small. Package your service as a premium. Charge what it's actually worth. Don't compete on price, compete on value. Now let's talk about something that's killing your chances before you even start. Chasing trends. Every week there's some new get-rich-quick opportunity. NFTs, crypto, whatever new platform just launched, whatever's blowing up on TikTok. And every week, I watch people abandon what was working to chase new shiny objects. 99% of people stay broke. They never get to $10,000 per month because they never stick with anything long enough to see results. They're constantly starting over. They're running in circles, exhausting themselves, and ending up right back where they started. You know what's never a trend? Solving real problems for real people. That is timeless. That will never go out of style. Focus on that, and you will build something sustainable. The real money is in the fundamentals: sales, marketing, delivering value, building relationships. These will work in any economy, in any market, with any product. I've seen people go through 5 different business models in a year and make 0 progress. Then I've seen others pick one thing and stick with it, despite it not being sexy or trendy, and quietly build 6-figure businesses while no one was paying attention. Which person do you want to be? The one who is chasing the next big thing, or the one building something real? So pick a business model that's proven, and then commit to it for at least 90 days before you even think about trying something else. I'm telling you to focus on 30 days for this challenge, but real success comes from consistency beyond that. Now, speaking of focus, let's talk about how you're using your time. Most people are busy being busy. They confuse motion, doing stuff, with actual progress. Here's what you need to do. Start every single day with 1 to 2 hours of deep work on the highest return on investment activity in your business. Now for you, that's probably going to be sales calls or creating content or direct outreach that leads to sales. It's not checking your email. It's not scrolling Instagram for so-called research. It's not redesigning your logo or tweaking your website for the 15th time. Those things might make you feel productive, but they don't move the needle. I see this all the time. People will spend hours perfecting their website when they don't have a single client yet. Or they will create 15 different social media accounts and try to post on all of them daily. That's not a strategy. That is a distraction. What moves the needle? Having conversations with potential customers, making offers, following up, creating content that showcases your expertise and attracts the right people. Every morning, before you check your phone, before you open social media, before you read the news, do 1 to 2 hours of focused work on the activity that won't bring in money. Just this one habit can completely transform your results. Block that time in your calendar right now. Turn off all notifications. Tell your family not to disturb you. And during that time, do nothing but the one thing that will bring in money. If you do this every day for 30 days, I can guarantee you'll get ahead of 99% of people and you will see results. And while we're talking about focus, let's address the elephant in the room, your phone. That thing is probably the number one reason you're not making the money you want to make. The average person checks their phone over 150 times a day. 150 times a day. Every time you check your phone, you're breaking your focus. You're training your brain to crave distraction. You're making it harder for yourself to do the deep work that's actually making money. So here's what I want you to do. When you're working on your business, put your phone in another room, not on silent mode, not flipped over, in another room entirely, and watch how much more you get done. If I hadn't done this, I would have never been able to make thousands of dollars per day in my business in my early 20s. I would have been too distracted. Now, most gurus won't tell you this, but if you want to make serious money, you need to face your fears. The life you want is on the other side of the work you're afraid to do. I see this all the time. Sometimes people know exactly what they need to do, but they're too afraid to do it. They're scared to put themselves out there. They're scared to reach out to potential clients. They're scared to charge what they're worth. They're scared to hit record on their video. They're scared to send that email to a potential client who could eventually change their life and allow them to quit their job. Let me tell you something. I too was terrified to start. I thought nobody would take me seriously. I thought I wasn't good enough. I thought people would laugh at me. But I did it anyway. And you know what? Some people did laugh. Some people did reject me. Some people did tell me, oh, that stuff sucked. But some people also said yes. Some people also became customers and loved what I offered. Some people also changed their lives because of what I taught them. And gradually, these yeses started to outweigh the no's. The wins started to outweigh the losses. And now, I make more in a month than I used to make in a whole year. All of that because I was willing to feel uncomfortable, to do the things that scared me, to push through when I wanted to quit. That is the secret to making more money that nobody talks about. Success isn't as complex as you think. It's simple, but it's hard. It requires you to face your fears day after day after day. And most people never make $10,000 per month because they're not willing to do that. The number one fear I had when I started my business was the fear of rejection. And most people have this one too. They're terrified of hearing no. But here's the truth. Every no gets you closer to a yes. Every rejection is a learning opportunity. When I first started, I got rejected dozens of times before I landed my first customer. Most people would have quit after 5. But I knew that each no was teaching me something. I refined my pitch. I got clearer on my value. I learned to address objections better. I always took it as a win regardless. I made money or I learned or both at the same time. What's the fear holding you back right now? Is it fear of rejection? Fear of failure? Even fear of success? Fear of judgment? Name it. Let me know in the comments. But then, feel that fear and do it anyway. Because the only way to overcome fear is to just walk straight through it. And if you never overcome your fears, you'll never make more money. So here's my challenge to you. For the next 30 days, write down your why. Make it so real it hurts. Choose consulting as your business model. Sell knowledge or service. Price your knowledge or service at a premium. Aim for $1,000 minimum. Ignore the trends. Focus on fundamental sales and marketing. Start every day with deep work. 1 to 2 hours of focused work on the activities that make the most money. Face your fears. Do the things that scares you every single day. Do this for 30 days straight, and I promise you, your whole life will change. Maybe you'll hit $10,000, maybe you won't, but regardless, you will be closer than you've ever been before. That I can guarantee it. This isn't about getting rich overnight. This is about building the foundation for real, sustainable wealth. This is about becoming the kind of person who can consistently generate income on your own terms. The difference between where you are now and where you could be in 30 days isn't massive action. It's consistent, strategic action following the right step-by-step process. It's doing the right things in the right order with the right mindset. Most people overcomplicate this stuff. They think they need some secret formula or some hidden tactic that only the gurus know about. That is garbage. Success leaves cues. The path has been laid out for you. All you have to do is to follow it. All you have to do is to commit to the process and trust that the results will come. So are you in? Are you ready to make $10,000 in the next 30 days? Let me know in the comments. And with that said, let's get to work. Now, unfortunately, there are some things we're not allowed to share on YouTube, which is why to help you, I've recorded a free training to show you how I went from 0 to over $1,200 a day with 95% profit margins. The link is in the description and I highly suggest you check it out when you're done with this video. You can also book a free call with me or my team, and together we'll come up with a game plan for you to get to 5 to 10K per month as quickly as possible. But be quick because we literally get hundreds of applications per month, so we don't have enough spots for everyone.